Hello folks, welcome back to the African Allure Outdoor Channel. I hope you are all very well and you are excited to join me today for my tutorial on how to build feeders for bush pigs. So in the early days of my bush pig feeding exercises, I used to use plastic drums, and to that I used to attach the feeders. And it came with numerous problems. One is the baboons here were very adept in breaking off the handles of those things, and they used to hit the deck and then break into a million pieces. Then I had another problem here where I had a couple of feeders disappear with vertical termites. So what I will do is I'll link in a little bit later one of my heavier built feeders that would make it a lot more uncomfortable for people to carry them away. So I will run through the feeders that I use, the sort of purchasable items, if I can put it to you that way. But right now what I want to do with you is I want to share with you one of my mobile feeders. How I build my mobile feeders is that I want everything to fit onto the back of a pickup. It's just easier, you know. It's nice to have these big bulky feeders that you can place in an area. Okay, so one of the big priorities of a feeder for me is movability. I do a lot of stuff on my own, so I don't have people to help me or anything like that. So what I do is I try and build my feeders that they will fit on the back of a pickup, and I can load them by myself and offload them by myself, just for practical sense really, more than anything else. I also have to baboon proof everything here because everything is challenged with those four-legged baboons. And then if the stuff is too light and too easy to lift, then the vertical termites carry them away as well. So everything has a little bit of its challenges. Also, if you build the stuff too light here, you tend to find that the baboons shake the legs and then they feed themselves. But I must say the warthogs do a pretty good job of keeping the baboons away from the feeders in the day, because whenever that baboon shakes that feeder, then the pigs come rushing in and the baboons give way to the pigs. Obviously they're pretty fearful of warthogs' tusks as well. So here is one of my basic feeders. This one hasn't got the feeding unit attached to it, but I just want to show you. I'm sort of not really sure what I want to do with this one just yet, as I have a couple new sites that I want to put out, and I don't think this feeder is really heavy enough for that purpose, so I might use it for something else here on the ranch. Anyway, so here goes the feeder. So I'm going to turn the camera around. All right, so over here I have my traditional mobile feeder. Very easy to set up. As I said to you, this one does not have a feeder on it. So what I've done is I've taken legs. I'm not a by no means a fine metal welder. I'm a practical, learn by myself kind of guy, and I'm definitely not a perfectionist. And what I've done is I've made these little brackets, fitted them to the drum. I've welded on legs, such as this one over here, and then I've incorporated a steel mesh to protect the feeder here. The feeder will normally sit under this. What I like about these drums is that in the first place they're very, very waterproof, and then the other practical thing is they've got this little lock here. Now this little lock is very practical because you've got to open that before you can open the rest, and that the baboons haven't been able to work out yet. And that is certainly a very handy addition, and it keeps them out of playing with my feeders and destroying my feeders. So it is a challenge. And then of course they've got nice handles to carry it with. So just turning the feeder over, I took off the cheap imitation feeder and I've just put on I've had to make a bit of an adaptation. There was quite a size difference. So over here with the legs, I've just got a little wire cage, and this I simply fit to the bottom of this, and I just put little cable ties around the edge, and I find that is sufficient to keep the baboons out of there. I have found that small monkeys can get their hands through that and they are able to spin the feeder. So maybe a future modification for me would be to extend this cage a little bit. But what I like about this feeder is that it is really easy. One can just fit the legs Sorry about the mess here. So here's the feeder once I've put the legs on. As I say, this is a nice setup for me. I like the wide distance between the legs here. It allows for a wide variety of shooting opportunity there. The other thing is when you have the feeder that is situated in the bottom here, it will actually throw food out sort of about 2 meters from the center of the feeder. But there is definitely a concentration of food around the bottom. And also what I like about this is, okay, I'm a very tall guy, but I'm able to work at this height. I'm able to open this and I'm able to put maize in here. There's no gadgets to lift it up or pull it down or crank handles or anything like that. This is a 50-liter drum and it takes exactly 1 bag of maize. I will show you in my other build that I've built to stop the vertical termites from carrying my stuff away, that I've put a much bigger drum there and I'm able to put 100 kilograms of maize in there, which lasts 2 months. This for me, with the feeder that I have set on this, lasts me approximately a month. 1 bag of feed here will last 2 weeks if you're feeding intensively, and if you're just topping up feed during the summer months, you can actually just put 1 bag of feed in here. It perfectly takes 1 bag, so it's very nice. Like I say, practicality for me is I want to be able to move the stuff around without too much trouble. The other thing, the other modification that I've added is here on the feet, is I've put these little wire loops on here. And what I do is I slam pegs in to keep this stuff from being moved around or taken away. And that just stops nuisance animals from moving your stuff away. You also tend to find that the pigs rub up against the poles and that sort of thing. So that, people, is my mobile feeder. So this is one of my favorite bush pig hunting sites. It's a site that I've shot a lot of pigs out of. Last year I shot that monster warthog out of this particular site as well. This is one of my robust stands that I have, and the reason being is that I've had a couple of feeders go missing from this particular site here. So the principle is the same as the other feeder that I showed you, with a couple of exceptions. This again can be loaded onto the back of a pickup without not too much trouble. You will see that, as I was saying to you, I've got the anchor points down here where I've got the legs firmly fitted to the feeder. The feeder itself is a 100-liter drum. It takes 2 bags of maize filled up, or two bags of corn filled right up. And then I've used an old truck tire tim rim here, which is very heavy. And to this I've welded some brackets that I'm able to slide the poles into. It is this feeder here, but you'll see the feeder inside there. And it is this very feeder that the baboons managed to rip off, and I had to modify it a little bit. But this works very well for me. This feeder is exceptionally high, so I have to reverse a vehicle in here to actually maintain the feeder and fill it up. You will see I'm going to zoom to the right. You'll see the tree stand up over here. It's open. It's about 18 to 20 yards from the feeder. Then what I've done in the most recent years is I've started feeding these pigs under white lights at night. So I have a white light here on this thing. It's a 12-volt LED light. And then if we zoom around on the other side of the feeder here, I have my trail camera mounted to the tree, and that trail camera looks directly at what is being feeding here. And I check this 2 to 3 times a week for that. Behind all of this, I have this is just an old truck battery. It works exceptionally well for me. It's not good enough to start trucks anymore, but it keeps my camera going and the lights. Then I've got a pole with a solar panel and this regulator allows me that when the voltage of the solar panel drops below, I think it is 9 volts, then the lights come on, or it sends power to the lights. So the lights come on for about 4 hours each night during feeding time. I have the feeder set till 7 o'clock at night, and then the pigs come in pretty quickly after that. So this is pretty much my site selection here. You will see that there are a number of trails leading to the site, and I placed this site on the edge of a riverine area because riverines are natural waterways and natural pathways for animals to move around in. So the river, you can't see it, is just down here, and I used a nice leafy green tree on top of a termite mound to shoot. So I've got a nice shooting area from this whole side here. If you hear my kids in the background there, it's just they're at home at the moment and we're keeping them entertained. So you'll see there's another nice path leading down to the river as well. And so we have a little sand river here with a whole lot of animal activity in the river. You can see all the nice animal tracks, and you can see my 2 little terrorists. Say morning, boys. So one of the things that we'll be going through in one of our future videos is actual site selection at the new feeding site there, and then we'll cover a couple of that. So I hope you guys have learnt a little bit. What I do like about this particular site that I've got here is, just try and get it up, and I don't know if you can see, but the tree stand is up here sort of behind me. And what I love about tree stands is that you're able to sit in a tree stand and you're able to look around and see what's happening all around you and have a 360-degree view. It is a little bit more intimidating because you have to keep well camouflaged that whatever you're hunting doesn't see you. So anyway, that's that, folks. Thanks for sticking with us. I hope you look forward to the next one in the series, and be good, be safe. Sort of priorities of a yeah.